Previously on Baconsale.
Guys, what's that noise?
That's the alarm. I set it up months ago. It's supposed to go off if someone's trying to break into the bacon cave. But that's actually weird because I've set up defenses so that no one can even get within a 100-yard perimeter of the bacon cave.
Oh, like the moat with the piranha in it.
And the fence made out of wasp nests.
And exactly. And the quicksand made out of grape nuts.
Right. Yeah, so I'm going to shut off the alarm and check the monitors.
Okay, please.
Whoa. Guys, it's a bunch of women, and they're angry. It looks like... Okay, don't worry. There's no way they can get into the bacon cave. I don't know what they're doing.
Who are they? What do they want?
Guys, I know exactly who they are. I'm sorry. The women I've tried to pick up using Baconsale. Blind dates, mutual matches, female guests we've had on the show.
Dang it, Kent. You knew what they were when you picked them up.
They don't look happy. Whoa, and they're looking right at the cameras now and smiling.
Oh, they seem to know that we're watching them.
Why do I hear ticking? Jake, I thought you said we were safe.
I don't know. They must have gotten in somehow. Past the bioscanners, maybe a previous guest or something, Kent?
If it's a bomb, I need to find it right now.
Guys, if this is the end, I just want you to know that I love you, Kent, and you're not bad, Joel.
Guys, I'll be right back. I gotta make some dinner.
Wait, what? Kent,
What?
Where are you going?
What?
This is Kate Baconsale. You're listening to Baconsale.
It's time for season 5. What a way to start a new year. Made it out alive from the cave and in our cave here. Now we're moving on, cause it's time to get quite nerdy. We've reinforced the walls and built them up quite sturdy. Season 5. Come on, fellas.
Yeah.
Welcome to Baconsale. I'm Joel.
I'm Kent.
And Jacob.
And it's season 5.
Yeah.
Where the walls are sturdy, I guess.
Yes, they're
Well,
sturdy.
based on that song.
Yeah.
I just wanted to recap, what's happened since
Oh, so
then.
that's all we need to say.
Yeah, we built it up. It's good. We're good now.
No, but seriously, what a crazy time we had.
It was. I mean, I was glad that you and I, Kent, were able to jump into that hot tub full of bacon grease.
Still, I'm suffering from third-degree burns. It's been a few weeks. My hair's growing back.
Yes, but we
You're
survived.
not fooling anybody. We know you guys did that like every other Tuesday.
I know. We were so conditioned
But
for
we
it.
survived the cave and because we were in the hot tub. But Jacob, where did you
seriously.
go?
Well, the Baconsale wreath,
Yes.
the one made of plutonium.
Yes,
Oh, of course.
There's
Yes.
a tunnel behind it.
What?
Of course there is. There were so...
Probably because of the radioactivity.
Yeah,
And the plutonium.
probably
it just
true.
melted right through. So yeah, when the cave-in happened, I knew we had to record the bacon bit on Aquaman, so I snuck out the tunnel thinking I'll go watch Aquaman and then come back and we could record.
Wait, hold on. You left.
You left us.
You
Yeah.
heard the explosion and everything.
Yeah.
You left us in the
You
cave.
went and saw a 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah, I could hear you guys snuggling in the bacon grease.
That wasn't snuggling.
we were trying to survive.
We were whimpering. There were rocks everywhere.
It's the whimpering sound and the snuggling sound are really close together.
It's true.
Maybe in your world. But
And then you came back. So thanks for coming back,
Well,
I guess.
Yeah, I came back, but you guys had already recorded the stupid bacon bit.
We thought you were dead.
we didn't know.
We thought you were dead, so the first thing we did was record a bacon bit
That's
about
what we
Aquaman.
did. First thing he did was go watch Aquaman. First thing we did was record a bacon bit of
Yeah.
Aquaman.
It makes sense.
Yeah. You guys
But,
were really... I think you guys were high, though. You spoke forever about Aquaman. Holy cow, longest bacon bit ever.
You
Well,
should
we
hear,
were
You should
mourning.
hear the bacon bit that people got to hear before this season premiere happened.
I think that's
Yeah.
only half the length of the Aquaman
Oh,
review.
please. Well, guys, I've learned my lesson. That was so traumatic for me, I'm sure for all of you, except for Jake, that
Yeah, it was fine for me.
I have decided I've seen the error of my ways in the
Really?
past few seasons.
Okay.
And
This is new.
I know that, right? I know that I caused that accident by...
I think you've caused every season finale.
No, that's not true. Listen, Pete.
All right, I'm not Pete anymore
He used you to cause trouble for us.
because you made a time rift.
Oh no, it is my fault.
It is your fault.
So I've decided that I'm going to have accountability, and I now will take your vow.
Our vow that you will not date any female guests or male guests that come on the show.
Thank you for that clarification.
Or even ask them out.
Yeah, I will never ask out. I'm saying it now. I will never ask out.
Put your hand on the bacon.
Any Baconsale guest that we have on.
Okay.
Okay. Is that good enough?
That's good. But what happens if...
his hand is on the bacon Bible.
What happens if you start dating someone and then they come on the show? Then you have to stop dating him?
Yeah,
I think that is how it works.
Yes.
Yeah.
That stinks.
Yeah.
All right.
We're holding you to it. Yep.
Well, you're gonna hold me to it. What if we have like Kate on the show? Can I take it back?
No, she's dating Pete Davidson right now.
Yeah, you're no Pete Davidson.
I'm no Pete Davidson. How dare you?
Have you seen that guy?
Yeah.
I have.
He looks like he could do more cocaine than a whole truckload
He looks
of
like
immigrants.
family friendly. we're like 2 minutes into this episode, and already Jacob says cocaine.
It's Lickimate, kids. It's Lickimate.
The guy was able to date Ariana Grande and Kate Beckinsale. We don't know
doesn't
if they're
make
dating.
sense.
Let's not talk about that.
It's our tabloid show.
Let's talk about our patrons.
Yes, we should.
We have a couple shout outs we want to give to new patrons that we've gotten since the cave-in, starting with Mats Mudro. Mats is actually a very cool guy. He is a big fan of Divine Comedy back at BYU. That's kind of how
cool.
I don't know. Like I knew him from that because he was emailing me about it, and I met him at Quickwits Night. He seems like a really nice guy. So thank you, Mats, for being.
Are
a
we
patron of
writing
Baconsale.
sonnets about our pecans now?
Goodness.
Ode to Mats Mudro.
Let's get you guys a room.
I think we need to call them pecans now, by the way.
No,
Based on
they're
our
patrons. They're
Pecans-ode.
patrons.
There are pecans.
Pecans.
Yeah, see?
It's okay, actually.
You like it, yeah.
Give another shout out.
Next up, we have Misty Peterson. Misty has been a friend for years.
Yes.
I remember meeting her at the OBT, and we told ghost stories under the stage. I just felt like I had to follow your lead
No,
here.
go for it.
Misty's actually fantastic. Her whole family is amazing. Thank you, Misty.
All right, next up is Jeff Grant. I don't know who you are.
Why did we let Jacob do the shout out?
I don't know.
I don't know Jeff Grant either, but I'm glad he's a patron,
Yes.
and hopefully he enjoyed our Pecin bit that we did just before.
As
last
long
week.
as Jake doesn't announce another pecan.
I do.
Oh, no.
I have another one. Yep, Jim Smith.
Now you're just making him up.
Yes.
No, Jim,
So
Jim
is
Smith is a
awesome.
totally real name that I
Yes.
did not just make up just now.
No, Jim Smith, thank you for being a patron
Thank
of
you, Jim.
Baconsale. We really do appreciate it. If you want more details, we have a whole episode about patrons and what it means to be a patron. And just go to patreon.com/Baconsale to learn all about what it means to be a patron and all the perks you can get for being a patron.
And new incentives coming your way.
Very soon.
As soon as we have our planning meeting.
As soon as that
Yes.
happens.
Jacob was at Disney World the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Aquaman.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's not what we're talking about today. Jacob, for the first time in season 5,
2019.
what are we talking about today?
Disney World.
No, we're not.
Please no.
Not again.
Please no more Pandora stories.
Okay. Today it's time to look back on 2018, fellas.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, we're going to talk political.
We're going to talk politics for 2018.
It's all
Please
sports,
bless
it's
no.
politically
Sports,
themed.
politics, finances. That's what
All
we're
the
gonna
things
talk
we
about.
know everything about.
Let's start with finances.
Finances.
Tell me about your RO3CK, Joel.
That's actually
That's a
the
droid.
robot
That's a
from
droid from Star Wars.
That's the one that Lando Calrissian was in love with in Solo. Little awkward.
As is tradition here on Baconsale, we're going to be talking about our favorite and least favorite movies from the past year.
Yes.
And
Which is a bit of fun.
It is.
It really
It's
is.
a fun. I love doing this list because I love seeing what I watched in the year.
Yeah.
And compare how good movies were versus other years.
I also like seeing what you watched from 1972 as well. Just to explain what is happening in years previous. If
Yes.
you don't know Joel, he sees maybe about 7 movies
Who's
from
Joel?
the actual year. And
No,
so
I watch a bunch of movies in a year.
no, you do watch a bunch, but they're from combined years. And so you say, if I haven't seen it before, that is a movie experience that I'm going to vote best or worst
Yes.
of the year.
I like that we have to explain this every episode.
Yes.
This happens
We
because
really
it
don't,
makes
'cause by
no
now-
sense to
it doesn't
anyone.
it makes perfect sense. If you see
no
it for the
one.
first time, it's new to you, therefore it belongs on the list.
Whereas I see movies that were released in 2018.
So
Those
here's the thing: is Kent's like, I am going to be judging movies that were released
I love how Joel
in
always defends himself
2018.
by bullying me, the guy who does it like everyone
No,
else.
but I'm saying I'm judging movies that I first saw in 2018. I don't know why you guys think it's weird or why you feel I wasn't even going to explain it this year.
We understand you, Joel. It's everyone else that thinks you're weird. We love you.
We're here to protect you.
Well,
This
used
is
to
a
that.
circle of trust.
Yeah.
Oh
right
yeah,
here.
if this is the circle of trust, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
But
So
yes.
that's what we're going to do. We're going to give our 5 worst and a few honorable mentions in there and our 5 best of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we will expand on these. Like, I think, Joel, you're actually going to write on your blog, which you haven't written on in like a year.
Yes. No. That's the thing is, I have a blog which I used to write on all the time, and
It's amazing.
I started before Kent. We found out, but we had a whole
A
thing about
year
that.
before.
It's a competition.
Yes.
It was because I was like, I was doing this before you, and he's like, no, you weren't. And we looked it up. And I'm like, ha.
A year before.
But yes, the former
year's kind of a while, though.
786.blogspot.com. If you go to the former 786.blogspot.com.
It's a blogspot site.
It is. It totally is.
Yeah.
But I've been since 2009, I've been posting my top 10 movies. You're only going to get the 5 best here, but you can go to my blogs there. And Kent has...
ShowtimeShowdown.com.
Yeah. We want to announce that here because no one ever listens to the end of the show.
Yes.
So
please listen. I put a lot of work into them.
I also want to clarify. Last year, I listened to last year's episode, and I feel like I went pretty hipster on a lot of my choices.
You killed me as far as hipsterness goes.
I'm getting back to my roots. I'm going to disappoint Kent so many times.
Nice.
It's going to be nice. It's gonna be
Why?
great. Because that's me.
But because it's me. That was really sweet, actually.
Disappointing
Care
Kent since
Bears episode.
2013.
Exactly.
Before that, 2012.
2012?
Actually,
Yeah,
yes.
I knew him 1 year before.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yes.
right.
We're going with worst. So our 5 worst movies that we saw in 2018.
Kent,
Yes.
you first?
Kent?
I want to go first. I'm going to go with Gotti.
Like Gawdy?
Gotti.
Oh, you saw Gotti?
I had to see Gotti because it's considered the worst movie of the
I'm
year.
just glad you pronounced it so I could know how it happened.
Did you say it was like Gautier?
Gautier.
You know who John Gotti is?
Yeah, John Gotti.
No, I
gangster?
had to look him up actually
Oh.
when I saw the movie come out.
He's
Oh,
a big
okay.
name in the mob. But does it still have a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't know. It
believe
wasn't
so.
0.
No, it really was. So there was something, okay, Gotti, and just to explain it for people like Jake,
Yeah.
it's the story of crime boss John Gotti
Not condescending at all.
and his son.
Okay.
For people like those people like Jake.
0% with 51 reviews.
Okay, here's
0?
0%.
Joel, could you give me
Wow.
the audience rating on that one?
The audience rating on Gotti?
Yes.
49%.
There was a big controversy when
Yeah.
Gotti came out because it got 0% from the critics.
Feels like you're saying it wrong.
I'm not. John
Okay.
Gotti.
Okay.
Joel?
It's John Gotti.
Yes.
Still sounds weird.
I know, but it's a guy's name.
Maybe it's your mouth. keep going.
I could make a few
We're going to
jokes.
try and keep these shows tighter.
Yes. So here's the thing. There was a big controversy because audience, like there were so many, like a flood of thousands of audience reviews that were not really even in English that gave this movie 5 stars.
Really?
And this came out right as the movie was released to kind of change like the outlook because it did get 0%. And they said the filmmakers and like allegedly paid a bunch of people from the Philippines to add fake reviews.
5 stars?
Like all these bots, like Russian bots probably. And
5
so,
stars. Like, I can understand, hey, give us a good rating, but to ask for 5 stars?
in fact, I could read a few to you right now.
Actually, I remember hearing, and maybe
Please
this,
do.
I can't remember where I heard this from, but actually the public, the regular audience actually enjoyed the movie more than the critics.
Yeah, that's because you read the audience reviews.
That must be.
And honestly, the general public, the slack-jawed yokels, generally enjoy movies more than critics.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it goes. But so, and I want to give some details just in case people don't know about this. It's John Travolta's movie.
Yes.
It's a labor of love they've been working on for 10 years, finally got released. It is his big passion project. Directed by Kevin Connolly, who is Eric from Entourage, the TV show and movie.
He's not the voice of Batman?
It's John Travolta's
No.
passion project?
Yes.
So was
that makes it so sad.
But so is Battlefield Earth.
Yes. So,
His passion projects do not go well.
yeah, John Travolta. Dang it. The budget, there's no disclosed budget because they're probably a little embarrassed, and it made $4 million. So a bomb regardless.
Good job, Movie Pass.
Yeah, yeah, you blame MoviePass. Mm-hmm. But the score was done by Pitbull, so that's good. This movie
The
takes
score
place in
for Gotti, the score
this
was
movie
done
takes
by
place in the
Pitbull.
70s, 80s, and 90s, and the score was done by Pitbull.
I know you want me. I know you want me.
You're sleeping with fish now. Exactly. So
I know you're Gotti.
This-
I know you're Gotti.
this movie is basically like everyone who worked on this saw every other movie, Goodfellas, Godfather, every other gangster movie. Those are the two I know right now. And they said, let's make that again with John Travolta. And so they have, a bunch of hits in a bar or outside of a club and stuff like that. And there's nothing to this movie. And the editing is so bad. It's hard to watch. Like it follows him throughout 25 years, and he can't even tell what year it's supposed to take place. It's so messy and muddled. But the audience did love it. For example, Charlie J said, Gotti, proves to be a true insider movie of an iconic icon. 5 stars. Gustav S says, just a classic of its time, Oh, wait, there's no commas here. Just a classic of its time, I laugh very hard, very much, all the time. This movie is very funny, very, with many R's, sad. I give this a 9 out of 11. Very nice, very funny. Thank you, Gustav.
Gosh.
He gives it a 9 out of 11. Seems a little inappropriate.
Why are you bashing on English as a second language people, Ken?
I didn't know. They're fake reviews. Joel, don't put that on me.
Season 5.
But no, this movie was, like I said, incredibly hard to sit through. It's just over 2 hours, and I did it as part of Kent Mess, knowing that it would be bad, but it's only number 5.
Now, how excruciating was it? Like, were you able to laugh at it, or was it just miserable?
No, it's not even so bad. It's good.
Dang it.
It's dull.
So don't see it, is what you're saying.
Don't see it. It's a waste of time.
All right. My number 5.
Fun facts, Kent.
Yes.
My number 5 is from 1978.
What?
Yes. Starting off strong.
I can't even imagine.
I saw this movie and I hated it. It's Every Which Way But Loose. Which, if you don't know what that is,
You heard of
probably
this?
People love this
you
movie.
probably know it as the Clint Eastwood
Chimpanzee movie.
Orangutan, please.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Here's the synopsis.
Kent doesn't care about that stuff, remember?
The San Fernando Valley adventures of trucker turned prize fighter Philo Badeau and his pet orangutan, Clyde. Now, this stars Clint Eastwood and Manus, the orangutan, as Clyde. And this movie, seriously, it's supposed to be a comedy, I think. But I think all the filmmakers thought was, hey, there's a monkey in our movie, so it's funny.
Yeah.
That's it.
And keep in mind, this
1978.
This was the heyday for Clint Eastwood. He was meant to be just grizzled, dirty Harry.
And he
he's
was
in a comical
he
monkey movie.
He did all like the spaghetti westerns. He was like this iconic star. And then he's
Yes.
like, I'm going to be in this movie with an orangutan. People were like, and he was actually advised against it. They said, don't do it. Don't do it. It was a huge success.
Yeah.
It made $104 million back in 1978.
What?
With
That's a lot.
With a budget of $5 million. So this thing just, it was the fourth highest grossing movie of 1978. It was only beat by Animal House, Superman, and Grease.
Wow.
It beat The Deer Hunter, the best picture winner of that year.
That's normal.
And it
Yeah.
also beat Halloween. I don't understand
I
this
feel
movie.
like I've never even heard of it.
You haven't?
No.
No. So, okay.
No, people don't look at this in a bad light at all.
No, that I watched it and I'm like, okay, it's going to be funny.
Yeah.
The humor was not there at all. And it's Clint Eastwood. He's kind of this prize fighter, like bare knuckle boxer type guy. And that's the whole thing. It's this road trip movie where he's riding around and doing random fights. And he's actually pursuing this girl, Sandra Locke, who he ended up dating in real life. But he pursues her for the longest time. And then, spoiler alert for 1978, it turns out she was just using
An orangutan.
him.
She was the orangutan.
But she was just using him, and then he keeps pursuing her. And it gets very stalkerish and creepy at parts. So
I've been there.
The whole time I'm watching it going, it's going to get funny any minute. But it was
Which
seriously.
side? Don't answer that.
Don't answer.
There's a whole biker gang that's supposed to be like the Keystone Cops kind of
This
thing.
sounds fun. I want to see this now, Joel. You have sold me.
It's so terrible. It has a 36% on Rotten
Is it
Tomatoes.
weird that you've sold me on this?
A little bit. But also, this spawned a sequel. It was so successful, it spawned a sequel.
That helps me more.
Any which way you can, but people don't like that one as much because that's the one where they beat the orangutan until it died because it stole a donut.
Wait, what?
What?
That's
This is like Death Wish, but
Wait,
with an
this is the
orangutan?
story?
that's the real life. It's not a good.
I'm so confused. Did they
Animal
kill him
cruelty.
in the movie, or did they kill him after the movie?
They killed the monkey that was playing the orangutan that was playing the part in the second movie, not this movie.
Wait, in real life or in the movie?
Real life. His trainer beat him until he died.
Welcome to season 5, everybody.
So
Wow.
I'm so sad right now, Joel.
that's how you should feel when thinking about Every Which Way But Loose.
But I like that they actually followed up the title with something that kind of
Was Clint Eastwood
followed
in
up.
the sequel?
Yes, as was the girl that he hated. So I don't understand.
At least
the
it
movie.
wasn't Every Which Way But Loose 2, like Now You See Me and Now You See Me 2, right?
that.
Like they actually
Yeah.
tried.
So now that I brought the room down, I want to bring the room down again.
Yeah, thanks.
By talking about my number 4 worst hated movie,
From what year?
2018.
Oh,
This is a newbie, and it's one I had to watch because ClearPlay asked me to review it.
okay.
And it is Uncle Drew.
Oh, really?
So,
I just thought you'd have loved Uncle Drew.
well, you know me, I love sports.
And isn't this a Medea type movie where someone's dressing up?
So you remember how last time with that with
Think about all the sage wisdom.
Isn't Shaq in this movie?
So with
Yeah,
the twist,
yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
get into
Shaq
it.
is.
So I'll read the synopsis here. Desperate to win a basketball tournament and the cash prize, Dak stumbles upon the man, the myth, the legend, Uncle Drew, in all caps, who in parentheses NBA All-Star Kyrie Irving, and convinces him to return to the court one more time. So remember how in Every Which Way But Loose, I'm like, the filmmakers are just like, hey, there's an orangutan in the film. That's going to be funny. In this movie, it's, hey, we're going to dress basketball players up as old men. That'll be funny. Now that's it. That's the entire thing.
Wait,
That sounds really funny.
in the movie, like Uncle Drew is meant to be an old person, right?
Yes, as is Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Webber, Reggie Miller, Nate Robinson, and former WNBA player Lisa Leslie.
And they're all really supposed to be old, unironically.
Yes. They make them all old, and they're like coming out of retirement to play basketball. But the problem is, it's supposed to be a comedy. I mean, it's based on these dumb Pepsi Max commercials from 2012. They came out with a movie in 2018 for a commercial that came out in 2012. It's an adaptation of a commercial.
I'm just disappointed that it wasn't about Grandmama.
So did you like it or not?
Remember Larry Johnson as Grandmama?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
That was back when I liked basketball.
Yeah. No, but have you ever had an uncle tell you a joke and you didn't laugh, and so he repeats the punchline like 6 times?
Yep.
That's Uncle Drew. That's exactly what it is. It's like they keep repeating the same joke, and it's not funny the first time, but then they totally shoot themselves in the foot because they don't make it a comedy. They try to make it a drama where it's like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Okay. And then he has this moment of, elation. But it's so dumb. Don't watch Uncle Drew.
Is there a message in the movie? Is it the age, isn't an issue?
Kind of. There's also a rift between the players, and they have to work to come together because they had some falling out when one of the guys flirted with the other guy's girlfriend or something like that. It was bad, though. Like, honestly, I was watching the whole time going, at what point is this going to get funny? This is much like Every Which Way But Loose, but it never did.
Okay.
It was bad.
Sheesh.
Uncle Drew, number 4.
My number 4 is one that Joel and I saw together this year.
Okay.
It's A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah.
Wait for that. After the disappearance of her scientist father, 3 peculiar beings send Meg, her brother, and her friend to space in order to find him. Wrinkle in Time. We talked about this a lot.
I mean, yeah,
this
we
is
had
my
a whole
favorite
bacon
bit about it. Yeah.
bit. This movie was made for $100 million. Worldwide take was $132 million. So it did lose money as far as print and advertising goes.
Okay, it bombed.
Yes.
But everyone also seemed to kind of want to defend it, too.
Oh, of course.
They're like, it's a terrible movie, but good effort movie.
Well, here's the thing. Like, Ava DuVernay, who is apparently like this visionary director.
Yeah,
of
the
Selma.
visionary director.
That's what
That's
they
how they
say.
advertised
Visionary
it.
director from Selma.
Yeah, she made one good movie
And some commercials.
in this movie, and it was just, this thing is just it's an atrocity because it's trying to be fantastical. I understand Disney was trying to adapt this great kids book that people grew up with and
Yes.
love.
It's a great
and
kids
made
book.
a movie with a giant flying plant dragon.
Played by Reese Witherspoon.
Yes, and Oprah
Giant space opera.
and Mindy from The Office quoting Chris Tucker.
Yep.
That's basically the.
I'm sorry.
None of that is made up.
Quoting Chris Tucker?
Yeah.
She's supposed to quote great philosophers, and she ends up. They tried to modernize it by having her quote modern.
So at one point she
celebrities.
goes,
Oh, like Rush Hour?
yeah, no,
Okay,
at one
what's
point she does this. Dang! But it's not dang, as we know. And
Chris
then
Tucker.
She goes, Tucker, America.
Yeah.
Because that's how she does every quote.
She cites everything she says.
An anonymous review from the audience said, this movie is amazing, and you will understand it a lot more if you are awake to the possible wonders that be our universe. 5 stars. I just don't think, Joel, we were awake to the wonders that be our universe.
No.
And
No.
here's the thing. We weren't high. We were not Pete Davidson watching this movie.
Pete loved this
We
movie.
should have been. Because it felt like it.
This is your number 4?
Number 4, worst. In fact, I called this one in my review a glorified screensaver. It's only missing an aquarium world and ever-expanding colorful pipes to make it the complete
Yeah.
set.
Yep.
It was pretty, but it's pretty awful.
It was pretty, but it also wasn't pretty enough. Like they tried to
Yeah.
do this big reveal, and it's like, oh, it's a green hill.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. With no story. I think this, much like every young adult adaptation, it kind of killed any hopes for a sequel because they generally bomb. I don't know what is wrong with these stories or what these adaptations are trying to do.
I don't know what they were trying to do with this movie.
My number 3 is one you guys probably will never see, may not even have heard of. It's called The Darkest Minds.
If there's one thing in common with all these movies so far,
Yeah.
it's that I was smart enough to not watch them.
It's true.
Yes.
So The Darkest Minds, the synopsis
Oh, I know that.
is-
That's Michelle Pfeiffer, right?
Is that
No, it is not.
That's not Michelle Pfeiffer.
is it like
Dangerous
a
Minds?
Netflix original or something?
No.
Isn't that the TV series with the Criminal Minds?
It's Dark Materials, actually, as well.
Okay.
So in prison...
Darkest Minds.
Imprisoned by an adult world that now fears everyone under 18, a group of teens from a resistance group fight back and reclaim control of their future.
Wait, is it Minds or mines?
Mine does.
Okay.
So with two Z's. So this,
I wish I had
I know, right?
Like, is that for real?
I'd
the
watch
Darkest
it.
Minds, it's like a Utah sports team all of a sudden. But this is young X-Men on a road trip. Because you may have seen this preview. This is one where they're like on a car chase and someone opens the back and they push the
I remember
tree
the trailer
into the
for
road.
this one now.
And they're running away from Brienne of Tarth with a terrible black wig.
Not ringing a bell.
So it's directed by Jennifer Yu Nelson, who did Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3. The budget was $34 million, and it made $41 million. So
It didn't turn. Well, it didn't turn a profit.
but
Yeah.
It was really atrocious and so boring. I sat there probably an hour and 40 minutes hating the entire experience. And
Superpowers are boring.
in this movie somehow. And here's the thing. It's another young adult adaptation, so it's like, hey, go here and you're going to have to choose a tribe. Like it's a Divergent story,
Okay.
where they start killing kids because they have certain powers. But man, is it dull. The acting is atrocious, but the audience liked it. I'm going to do this for every single one. by the
I
way.
enjoy it, so keep doing it.
So this is also an anonymous review, but it's 5 stars. Best film I have seen in a long time. Don't listen to those BS reviews from top critics that would only watch La La Land. See it for yourself. It is well worth it. Oh, it's some anonymous guy, but his picture, he's kissing his dog. So
Is there tongue?
there is tongue for sure.
Jacob, family friendly.
And you think it'd be from the dog.
It's family friendly.
But the Darkest Minds, don't even do this. Like it, I hated the experience. And it's one of those where I'm like, I feel like I'm giving it more attention by talking about it right now. But I hated it that much that I
I do wonder about that. Though when
Yes.
we say don't, when we give our 5 worst, if people are actually more compelled to see them because they're on our worst list.
No,
Yes.
it's just they can commiserate if they happen to have seen these things too.
Hopefully they haven't.
So Joel, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is A Wrinkle in Time.
I was
Can I get
waiting
a high
for that.
five?
Yeah. I knew we were going to get at least that on our list because both you and I were watching and going, what is happening? Because I can't maybe remember this, is that the close-ups were driving me insane.
Right.
Now,
Terrible cinematography.
You may not notice it because you may not paying attention to cinematography of it.
It's the way a TV show is shot in many ways.
Mostly speaking, it's close-up is like just the face, whereas like a medium shot's like head to chest,
Yes.
like in the frame. But they kept like zooming in on the people's face, so it was filling the entire screen. We were seeing it in IMAX, and they were having just normal conversations. Because normally when you do a close-up, it's to see emotion, like if they're really intense emotion on their face.
Yes.
Because you're right up in their face. But they just do it in everyday conversations. Like it's like, what'd you have for lunch? I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like it was not.
You think there's anything that normal in Wrinkle in Time? There wasn't.
I think they did have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, like, is it just me? But I saw multiple critics point out the cinematography, in particular the close-ups, were distracting. And I'm like, oh, I feel justified.
So bad.
And really, I mean, this is maybe the novel is unfilmable because this is just a disjointed, trippy mess. It really didn't make sense. And I remember liking the novel a lot.
Yeah.
And this movie, I did not. So
That was your
3.
number 3?
Number 3.
Okay.
Good choice.
I mean, it was trying to be so woke, but it put me to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote that joke down so I wouldn't forget it. My number 2.
Let's hear it.
My number 2 worst movie that I watched in 2018 is actually one you two morons made me watch.
What?
You're welcome.
We didn't make you watch any Medea this year.
You made me watch. You two idiots made me watch this. It's a 2014
Could
movie.
you be nice a little bit?
Vampire Academy
We made you watch this?
for the vampire
we
show.
did.
Wait, this is one of the worst ones of the year?
This is one of the worst movies
Jake.
I've ever seen.
Okay.
Jake, this is a bad movie.
It is a really bad movie.
Oh, it's horrible. Here's the synopsis. We talked about it on the Vampire Show. So I'm not going to
2014?
go into it.
Is that when it came out?
2014.
I mean, but worse than A Wrinkle in Time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wrinkle in Time got one.
Actually, no, here's the thing. I laughed my face off at this movie. Like, it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
No. I just want to read the synopsis here. Rose Hathaway is a Dhampir, half human, half vampire, a garden of the Moroi,
I'm in.
full of
So
Moroi
I'm in.
vampires, living discreetly within our world. Her calling is to protect the Moroi from bloodthirsty, immoral vampires, the Strigoi.
They're immoral vampires?
Yes, they're immoral and immortal.
Okay.
But this is directed by Mark Waters, who did Freaky Friday, Mean Girls, and Mr. Popper's Penguins. And it stars a bunch of people that will never get a job again because it's terrible. This grossed $15 million against a $30 million budget.
Wow.
It made half of the money.
Did we contribute to some of that 15 million?
Absolutely. You did. And we paid extra because they were recliner seats.
Yeah, those
as
are
well.
nice seats. Yeah.
Seriously, this movie, it over explains everything in this really kind of look how cool we are.
But Joel, it is so hip. The movie is cool.
No, the whole time they're mocking.
Yeah, it's really cool.
They're actually mocking Twilight and Harry Potter, which they're directly ripping off.
Yes.
And the whole time I'm like, you're not cool enough to be mocking the big, like even Twilight, they didn't feel worthy to mock Twilight. Like I watched Vampires Suck, which was the parody movie of Twilight. It's a better movie than Vampire Academy.
Joel, serious question for you.
Yes.
Vampire Academy or Breaking Dawn Part 1? Which is worse?
Well, see, I watched Breaking Dawn Part 1 with riff tracks, so I enjoyed it more. So
did we. But for Vampire Academy.
Yeah, so bad. No, I want to bring this up too, is that they were going to have a sequel, but then of course you make half your budget back. They're not going to make a sequel.
Right.
So they tried to go to the fans and they're like, hey, we're going to do a fundraising campaign and there's all these perks and we raise up enough money. If we raise $1.5 million in a month, we will make this movie. Guess how much they raised?
I don't know.
$12.
$272,000.
That's a lot for them.
It's a quarter. It's less than a quarter of what they needed to go. But I was still like, who gave money to this?
Yeah.
So
Jake and I did actually.
Yeah, I gave another $15.
We took the Paikin contributions and we donated.
Oh
yes.
But here's the
thanks, patrons.
It had one saving grace. I mean, besides, it's full of beautiful people. Like this film is full of beautiful people.
Beautiful people.
Thanks, kid.
We had to.
But the one saving grace is the closing credits is actually Churches, the band Churches, doing a cover of the song Bela Lugosi's Dead.
Okay.
I loved it. And I actually looked it up and bought it after.
You bought the soundtrack?
No, I bought that one song.
Sure you did. Vampire Academy soundtrack.
Yeah.
Bela Lugosi's Dead.
Vampire Academy soundtrack lover.
It's Churches. I love Churches.
I love that you're on your shuffle. Vampire Academy will come up.
No, you even listen to Church. Isn't that Churches with like the V instead of the U?
I love them.
Churches.
They're great.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
Okay, what's your number two?
My number two is a horror movie, and I go so easy on horror because they're usually bad, but
It Follows. You still hate it.
I still hate It Follows. This one was so bad that I had to make it my second worst movie of the year. It's Slender Man. There
That
was a
came out this
Slender
year?
Man movie.
Oh yeah, I heard a
this
lot of
year.
stuff about that. That was.
I don't recall anything about that
no,
movie
no,
being
I'm
out.
thinking of the Snowman.
Oh, that was last year with
Wait.
Harry Hole.
Yeah, that's the one.
Detective Harry. No, you just made it worse by saying that.
It's his character's name.
Michael
Joel, like, I make it
Fassbender
weird.
plays Detective Harry Hole.
Wait, Kent, was this in and out of theaters? Because I don't remember it being there at all.
Like this should have been straight to Redbox, not even Netflix. It's that bad. So in a small town in Massachusetts, a group of friends fascinated by the internet lore of the Slender Man attempt to prove that he doesn't actually exist until one of them mysteriously goes missing. This movie basically tries to recreate the YouTube videos, but in the worst way possible. It has Joey King, I think that's her name, from Wish Upon. Okay.
Not getting this.
She's in a lot of really terrible horror movies, and this is her worst one. You think given the concept of Slender Man, like the internet can do a lot of creative stuff.
That's what I was going to say is you don't need much to scare people with Slender Man. Like honestly, the creepypasta he came from is creepy enough.
Yeah, and the pictures they've created, but they show those pictures like in the movie, and that's all they rely on. This is one of those movies where if there is going to be a jump scare, like if you hear the music ramp up, there's a jump scare, and it's always a cat or a garage door, and rarely anything great. It doesn't make any sense. The budget was $10 million, and this one actually made, because it's a horror film, so they make money, $51 million worldwide.
Wait, say that again?
Made for 10, made 51.
So it still
made money.
So it made
money
money,
back.
yeah.
But it's actually terrible. Like I said, I love horror
Was it
movies of
scary?
all kinds. Not at all.
Dang.
It was boring. And this one actually wasn't screened for critics because A, they knew it would be terrible, but B, they were worried about the negative publicity because remember, the court case is still going on about those two girls that actually did take the life of their friend.
Well, they didn't take her life. They stabbed her. She survived.
She did? No, she died.
No, she survived.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Look that
I
up.
remember reading Dead.
And so they basically said, oh, we don't want to be affiliated with that, even though, honestly, that story would make a far better movie than the actual scary story of Slender Man. But the audience, they said, amazing movie. Best movie I've ever watched. I wish I could just watch it over and over again. And it was just a picture of a giraffe.
The girl
5
left
stars.
the hospital 6 days after the attack. She returned
she
to school
did
in
survive.
fall of 2014.
Are you sure?
She's
Or
okay.
did she actually succumb to Slender Man? in
She's
the end?
okay.
And also, the CGI was magnificent, and the characters were increasing, but the plot was just mind-dazzling. John K., 5 stars.
Mind dazzling?
Mind-dazzling.
That's not even a thing.
It's apparently a thing. Don't watch this, even if you like cheesy horror. There's slightly better this year.
What if you like Slender Man?
Not at all.
The myth of Slender
No,
Man.
go watch Marble Hornets on YouTube, and you're going to get the chilling effect.
Marble Hornets?
Marble Hornets is the original videos that, the ones that
He made that up, Joel.
popularized.
He made it up. Don't even
Yeah,
listen
honestly,
to him.
look at Marble Hornets, and you're going to see this is from 2008, maybe.
It's called Ant-Man and the Wasp. So I'm calling it Marble
that's it.
Hornets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
Get it right,
Wasp,
man.
Kent.
That's what I
Marvel's
meant.
the Wasp.
So I have honorable mentions.
Yes, we're going to do our honorable mentions now.
I'm trying to figure out what your number one is. I'm between two different movies.
Okay.
I can't believe one didn't come up. So
Do you have a guess? Just give a guess.
Well, no, wait till we get there.
okay, I'll guess in a minute.
Do
Yeah.
your honorable mentions. And please, keep it brief, Kent.
The Predator.
Yeah? That's
really,
pretty bad.
really bad. Fun, though.
No, brief-
Fun, bad.
brief commentary.
Okay. Life of the Party.
How can it be fun and really bad though?
Life of the
somehow.
Life of the Party.
Melissa McCarthy.
It's lifeless.
The Nun. Had a lot of potential.
Oh, yeah, the
Made
Conjuring spinoff.
Yes, made the most money of any Conjuring movie. Absolutely terrible.
Wait, it made the most money of any Conjuring movie?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Isn't it?
Conjuring 1 and 2 are fantastic films. Horror films.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, come on.
Seriously dull. They were chasing a tiny building.
That's fair.
The Grinch.
Okay.
Hated it.
Yeah.
And Book Club. I loved Book Club, but I hated Book Club.
Because it was so bad.
It was so bad.
That's the one with like Diane Keaton's in that
Diane
one?
Keaton and
Yeah.
all that, and Candice Bergen, and
Yeah.
it's all about 50 Shades of Grey.
That's right.
Yes. Joel, what are your honorable mentions?
I have a lot more than that. So
Keep it brief,
you
man.
just
Keep
hate
it
more.
brief.
yeah, no. The 1517 to Paris.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
That's the one where they use the real life heroes that stopped the train attack.
so bad acting.
It's really bad. Like they're heroes and they're awesome guys, but they can't act. It was hard to watch. Tyler Perry's Acrimony.
You watch that?
I had to for Clear Play, and it was bad.
You had to watch that?
It was so bad,
I don't
yeah.
think I even heard about that.
Yeah.
No one should have. It wasn't terrible.
No, I mean, heard about you complaining about watching it.
Oh, I keep it under the radar. True Stories, 1986. That's a Talking Heads movie. The Return of the Pink Panther. I'm done with that franchise. I hate all those movies.
You're done with that franchise?
Oh, that's so bold.
I started watching them, and I was like, these are terrible.
You're done with a terrible movie from
Everyone.
2003.
1975. 1975.
That's The Return?
done with
That's It's
I
all
thought there was a remake.
Peter Sellers. There is, but I'm watching I was watching
okay.
Peter Sellers. I was trying to watch Peter Sellers movies.
You are so bold, sir.
Yes. Good Night and Good Luck. Hated it.
Oh,
You just
so
now
much.
saw that?
Yeah, I
Wow.
just barely saw. Because I was like, that's got so much attention. I need to watch that one. Hated it. Juno and the Paycock. You guys remember that one?
Yes, I do. Hitchcock show.
Actually, I have 3 Hitchcock here in a row. Juno and the Paycock, Spellbound, and Topaz all made my worst list.
Unbelievable. Spellbound made it?
Gregory Peck's awful.
My
In that
word.
movie, Noah, 2014, finally saw that. What the heck? That
Oh,
was
I like
so
Noah.
dumb.
I like
I
Noah.
hated it.
Jeez.
Cloud Atlas, also hated it. And finally, Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Hated it.
You're being really harsh, I think.
No, I'm
because
not.
honestly, Cloud Atlas, crazy movie, really trippy. The score itself maybe saves the movie.
No.
It is such a great soundtrack.
Me to go to give him the gumbo.
What?
That's
Excuse me?
dialogue from the movie.
Is that Tom Hanks in
That's probably Tom Hanks.
cultural appropriation?
Yeah,
Yes.
probably. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
So Crimes of Grindelwald, yes, you really, really hated that one.
I did.
Yeah, Kent, that didn't come up for years.
It's like number 11 worst. Yeah.
Oh, so it didn't quite make honorable mentions
Yes.
even?
Okay, Kent, is it time for me to guess?
Yeah.
Your number one
Yeah.
worst?
Is Happy Time Murders.
Happy Time Murders.
Yes.
Oh, I should have guessed that.
The worst movie of the year. Good job, Jake.
Thank you. I'll tell you the other one in a second
Okay.
once you've done your spiel.
When the puppet cast of a 90s children TV show begin to get murdered one by one, a disgraced LAPD detective turned private eye puppet takes on the case. This is a crass movie directed by Brian Henson,
The son of Jim Henson.
the director of Muppets Christmas Carol, which is a tier 1 Christmas movie. This is a movie he's wanted to do for about 10, 15 years. And
Why?
Because he thought it would be funny to have puppets that we know and puppets in our world. Oh, not puppets we know because he couldn't get
Didn't he
rights.
see Greg the Bunny?
Yeah, precisely.
It's an old TV show. It was on for like 1.5 seasons.
But Joel, Avenue Q is considered to be so funny on Broadway, so he thinks,
10 years ago,
Right.
12 years ago.
but that's when he wanted to make the movie. He was finally able to make it. He had to do all new puppet characters living in our world, and oh my gosh, this movie is like it's a gluttonous mess of disgusting. And I'm not easily shocked. I'm pretty desensitized, but I sat there and I was like, that's gross. Like, I don't need to see that. And I know they're just puppets, but what they are doing really disgusts me.
Didn't you say the same thing about Sausage Party?
Yeah. Oh, I hated Sausage Party.
Yeah.
But I hated this
Which is
movie.
worse? Happy Time Murders or
This is worse.
Okay.
This is awful. Melissa McCarthy, she got shot once, and she somehow became addicted to sugar, and so it becomes her cocaine. So there's
This
a whole
is the
plot
third
line.
time the word cocaine has been said.
I
Fourth
know,
time,
right?
now.
Third?
Well, because I said it when I was.
What did you
just
say?
said it. I just said that you said just. No, I'm not saying it again.
Yes. But I said in my review, this feels like it's only 90 minutes, a 90-minute cinematic root canal. The jokes are, Naughty X or a puppet getting its head blown off and cotton coming out or something like that. Like, that's the joke of the movie.
That's the joke.
That's the joke. And it's meant to be a funny buddy cop movie. It's not. But Jamie G on Rotten Tomatoes audience review says, revolutionary, funny, whimsical. The Happy Time Murders film is exquisite and extremely entertaining. 5 out of 5 golden leaves. There's no golden leaves, but apparently for this review,
that's what they do.
There was. This will be the worst movie I see for a long, long time. I hope.
Oh, knock on wood, dude.
Number 1 worst.
So have you not seen Holmes and Watson?
I have not yet.
That's why.
Yeah, we actually got warned against that one too. So
I need to see it.
The world was warned against it.
I watched
people
Gotti,
were walking
so
out like after 15 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I
crazy.
saw- Yeah, people were hating on that.
I
movie.
need to see this then.
I mean, I read some reviews that it's like they feel like Riley and Farrell are like in on it. It's like awkward.
Like it's supposed to be bad. Like they're like this is performance art.
No,
like when,
it's a paycheck for both of them.
like
They
when Walking
working
Phoenix
together.
went crazy in real life. and
Yeah, I don't know
changed his
what's
career.
going on.
Maybe.
Okay, I'll go to my number 1 then, and I'll disclose right now. I didn't see Happy Time Murders, but I'm betting it's worse than this one.
You would absolutely hate it.
I know I would because of just everything.
And by
I've
the
heard
way,
about
Clear
it.
Play wouldn't even have it available.
They don't.
I promise you.
Vangel and Clear Play don't have it.
All right, what year is this from, Joel?
2017.
Okay.
So it's 2017. It's actually a sequel. It's a comedy sequel. Man, I have a lot of comedies on here. I just realized that.
Hey, you hate comedies?
The worst laughter.
The worst movies in the world are
Comedians,
comedies.
humor.
I've said it before.
Joy, Glee.
This is actually a sequel, and this I liked the trailer for this sequel. I was like, that actually looks like a really fun movie, and I hadn't seen the first one. I actually went back and watched the first movie so I could watch the sequel. The first movie I gave 3 stars. This movie I gave 1 star. It's Daddy's Home 2.
Oh.
So I
Haven't
saw
seen it yet.
I saw the trailer, and it has like
You haven't even talked about this.
This
John
is the
Lithgow.
worst movie?
This is the worst movie I saw.
Daddy's
this last
Home
year.
2?
The
Who's
trailer
the
was
worst movie?
comical.
I know, because in the trailer you see like John Lithgow being this lovey-dovey dad, and you
Yeah,
see
Mel
Mel Gibson
Gibson
being this really cool dad.
Right.
And I was like, that looks kind of funny. This stars Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, Linda Cardellini, John Cena, John Lithgow,
Never
and
gets
Mel
old.
Gibson.
Never does.
So it's about, I'll just read this. Having finally gotten used to each other's existence, Brad and Dusty must now deal with their intrusive fathers during the holidays.
But you like the first one, okay.
I gave it 3 stars. It was like, yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
This one was awful. Like, it's just like, none of the jokes work. The whole time, it's just this miserable experience where you can see, like, just hear the heavy footsteps of a joke coming a mile away. And then it's like, yeah, then we knew that was coming. And then the story gets more and more and more contrived as it goes on. Like, where they get these movies where, like, they get into these impossible situations where it's like, how on earth did they get here?
Yeah.
But it's miserable.
I thought the trailer jokes are pretty good. Like John Lithgow and Will Ferrell. And
Yeah.
That's right at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
But then they have jokes such as the part where Will Ferrell mistakes a cell phone tower for a tree as they're trying to cut down a Christmas tree. So he tries to cut it down and gets electrocuted.
You're kidding me.
Because that's what happens when you
That's
cut
not
metal
real.
chainsaw.
That's not real.
Then they also go to an
They
improv.
probably make it look like a real tree. Like that's the thing, is so it fits into nature. So they made the tower look like a real tree.
Then they
so we
have
got
they have
confused.
those, but still,
is
it's
that
like,
what it was?
Yeah, basically. But it's still, you cut into one of those, you're not going to get electrocuted to the point of almost dying. Also, there's a part where they go to improv comedy club and they start giving like really awkward suggestions to make the person on stage feel awkward.
Okay.
And it just gets to the point where I was literally like feeling awkward. Like, this isn't like fun awkward. This is like,
It's because they mess with your heartland right there.
Yeah, I know.
no,
Yeah.
But not like I was feeling bad for him. Like, this is not realistic at all. Like, no one would, no sane person would act like this. But then it ends, and this is where it really lost me because the whole time I was miserable. It tries to be this whole Christmassy movie, and in the end, they somehow end up in this like movie theater watching a movie with Liam Neeson doing a Christmas movie, but then the power goes out, so everyone has to wait in the lobby, and then they decide to have a karaoke competition for some reason in the
Did
lobby.
they just make up the ending on the fly?
And then they all
Christmas.
join in a group song
Except
of
for Mel
Do
Gibson.
They Know It's Christmas?
What?
And it is cringeworthy. And I, like, honestly, okay, I
Hold
think...
on. Did you buy that song on iTunes?
he did. He totally bought that one.
Yeah.
He wanted Mel Gibson singing "Do They Know It's Christmas?"
so bad. Like, it really was like they're trying to be Christmassy and they had to just like shoehorn it in there. But it feels like, I mean, John Lithgow, Mel Gibson,
Yeah.
even Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, they've worked together before and done well.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like the cast was just basically dropped in the middle of a comedy desert with a toothbrush and like a dead battery, and they're like, there, survive. Like they were giving nothing to work with, and this movie is nothing.
Richard Dean Anderson could survive that way.
He probably could have.
He'd make a hilarious comedy that way.
But he's MacGyver. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's my worst.
Okay. Wow. Number 1.
It was bad.
Okay.
All right, now let's talk about the happy.
All right, you're going to move a little
Negativity
faster.
over.
Yeah.
Joel? Woohoo! Why don't you start with number 5?
So
Here we go.
no, it's funny because my number 5 is actually because I saw a trailer for the sequel of this movie.
Okay.
And I heard that it had
Daddy's Home 2.
Well,
Daddy's Home.
I know
You
it.
watched this
it's Daddy's
Daddy's Home.
Home too. No, but I heard that the sequel was getting 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I went, "Excuse me, what?" I never even saw the first movie, so I went back and watched the first movie.
I know what it is.
Do you?
Yeah.
What is it?
Paddington.
It's Paddington.
Yay! I love Paddington.
2014, Paddington. A young Peruvian bear travels to London in search of a home. Finding himself lost and alone at Paddington Station, he meets the kindly Brown family who offer him a temporary haven.
That's racist. Also, I've never watched Paddington, but I heard it was really good.
No, so
Apparently
I'm,
it's adorable.
I'm not a fan of the Paddington books. Like I hadn't
Well,
ever.
who
I didn't really,
is?
I didn't really grow up with them.
Boring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting much, but this movie, okay, starring Ben Whishaw as the voice of Paddington, but then you get Hugh Bonneville, Lord Grantham from
Why do I know
Downton Abbey.
that?
Sally Hawkins, you may know her from Glub Glub Kiss Kiss.
That's some shame knowledge.
Peter Capaldi's in it, Doctor Who, and
Yeah.
then Nicole Kidman is the bad guy. So this movie is almost impossible to dislike because it is so positive and upbeat and uplifting that you can't help but just smile with a stupid grin on your face this entire time. It was also really, really kind of clever. Like the jokes actually were really working for me. And like my kids were loving it. My wife and I were loving it. And then I did end up watching the sequel. It didn't make my top 5.
Okay.
But it's one of my favorites of the year. We'll get into that when we talk about the honorable mentions. I just want to say it now that it's also very well done. And surprisingly so, because this is a CGI children's book character, but it's a movie that can appeal to adults and kids.
Great choice.
Yeah, Paddington.
Okay.
All right.
Mine is also about a
Skinny
CG
deep.
animal as well. It's Alpha.
Oh, yeah.
Alpha?
Alf.
Not Alf. Not from Project or Planet Melmac. He just eats cats. Well, so does Alpha. Right?
Alpha was one of
it's
the better
true.
movies of the year.
Yeah, Alpha. It surprised me more than anything this
The
year.
synopsis, please.
In the prehistoric past, a young man struggles to return home after being separated from his tribe during a buffalo hunt. He finds a similarly lost wolf companion and starts a friendship that would change humanity. It's man's best friend.
It's how
the origin.
Domestication of dogs.
Yes.
But rumor has it, Kent, that this was up for the Utah Film Critics Association Best Foreign Film.
Best foreign language film.
Even
And
though
it's
it's an
actually
American film.
non-English.
Yeah.
It's a non-English film because they created a language for this movie. Not that there's much language because this is a survival story. Jake,
Yeah.
you saw this one, right?
Yeah.
I did as well.
You did?
Not
Oh, you
this year, though, not last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is one of the, and feel free to join in with your opinion. Like, I watched
So you've
the
seen
trailer.
it in the last week? Is that what you're saying?
I watched the trailer over a year ago because they delayed this movie quite a bit. And I said, oh, I hate dogs. And that looks boring. I just watched the whole movie. And I watched the movie in IMAX. I was stunned.
Yeah.
I was like, this whole movie's CG. It's not.
It looks like it is a realistic landscape for the most part. I'm
Yes.
sure they used some
They did.
stuff, but
But the cinematography alone is incredible. I mean, each shot was like a movie poster.
Whoever the art director was for this movie just
Great job.
nailed it. My
Amazing.
goodness.
also, Jacob, this was actually the first movie I watched in 2019.
Really?
Because I wanted to start the year with a movie called Alpha.
Oh, that's perfect.
And so I'm going to watch the Omega Man. to
Omega
end the
Man,
year.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's really weird.
Yeah.
And maybe neurotic. You should see a doctor.
I
It's
do.
OCD.
Every other Thursday.
It's OCD. But no, so like even in this story, which like I even wrote my review, like it's anything but original. But like compared to like the glut of CG overblown movies we get, it's like refreshing and beautiful. And the character, even though it's a road trip movie, it's a journey movie, he goes through a great character arc as well.
He does.
From like this kid that really isn't meant to take over the tribe to the end of the movie with the, I'm not going to spoil it or anything, but there's a lot of changes for this guy.
Yeah.
And it's
when he dies right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Ghost Journey.
Yes. But I really love this movie, and the more I've thought about it over time, like I even refuse to watch it on my TV because I need to watch it on a giant screen
Listener,
again.
if you have a good 4K HDR or even just
Honestly.
a good TV, go watch this one.
It looks good, honestly. Like
Yeah.
even no matter what TV you
Except
watch
on
it
Ken's TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that we have it actually playing here in the background on the screen in the Bacon Cave.
I
on
know.
the big wall.
Yeah.
So
2.0.
I like that.
All right, so my fourth is
Fourth best for
fourth
the 2018?
best is 8th grade.
Oh, yeah, you did like that one.
You know what I like about your choices, Kent? I've seen them and heard of them.
Yeah, which is weird because generally I go hipster.
Yeah.
But you've seen these.
Yeah, but they're 2018, and I've seen good movies in 2018.
You did see 8th grade?
Yeah.
Okay. So an introverted teenage girl tries to survive the last week of her disastrous 8th grade year before leaving to start high school. This movie is written and directed by Bo Burnham, stand-up comic.
Yeah, he's the horse, right?
Stop
That's the one. That's the one.
BoJack Horseman?
Yeah.
That's the one. This movie, I didn't see this in the theater. It came out of Sundance. Didn't see it there. Abe Yosby actually said, hey, here's a movie that you're actually going to love. 8th grade.
And you guys always see eye to eye on movies.
We don't, actually. We really don't. But I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. It didn't really interest me.
You know, it was him that sold me on it as well. I
Yes.
was like, okay, I'll check that out.
Because here's the thing. You watch this movie, and it's this really insecure girl, but she makes her own YouTube videos where she acts like she's popular, and they maybe have 2 views. And she's talking about as if junior high is going really well, and then you actually see how life is in junior high. And even though it's a modern take, and it's all about texting and Snapchat and everything like that, I related to this movie, and that is why I loved it.
Okay.
I felt like I was in her shoes. Granted, I didn't always have like
Wait,
the
you watched
awkward...
in her shoes?
Yes. I put her shoes on, and they were, I've sized 12
I meant
feet.
the movie
so-
In Her Shoes.
Oh, not that movie. Please, no. But like, the dad in this movie deserves a Best Supporting Actor nomination for the Oscars.
He does do a good job.
Because the role is so unique and fun to watch. And he's just trying to raise his daughter who doesn't care about him all that much because she's trying
Like
to
most
figure
sixth
herself
graders.
out. Exactly. Just really quick fun fact.
Like that dinner shot where...
So good.
Yeah.
Yes. Where he's like, please, can we talk for 5 minutes?
Yeah, and like
You
the
have 5
camera's just on her
minutes.
face, so you don't know what's going on. And
Yes.
suddenly you realize she's at dinner because you can hear the dad talking just
Yeah.
like muffled in the background.
Or the
Yeah.
fact where he knocks on the door when she's going to bed and she's on her phone and she throws the phone at
Throws
the
it,
wall
yeah.
and breaks the But fun fact, Bo Burnham I guess doesn't know kids as well as maybe he thought, and so he said, "Hey, I think all these teenagers should communicate over Facebook Messenger." Elsie Fisher said, "No one uses Facebook."
We use Facebook Messenger.
We do. It's because we're old.
old.
But so she says they use Instagram and Snapchat instead. So they changed that a little bit. But honestly, the thing is, like, and I was telling you, Joel, the other day, the swimming pool scene alone is masterful.
I rewound that so I
Yes.
could show it to my wife.
Yes.
And it's actually, I was going to say, this actually dropped on VidAngel just recently. And so
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'll have to put that in my
Yeah,
queue,
please
'cause-
watch it. It is one of those where it's not laugh out loud funny.
Not because of you, because of Abe Yosby.
There's some
Yeah.
awkward moments too.
The
Well, yeah.
awkwardness
But with
is
VidAngel.
close to, honestly, it's very close to The Office, the British Office.
Oh, okay.
Where it's so awkward and not like
Yeah.
overtly funny that you're like, oh my gosh, I'll never forget this because I'm dying inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like there's anything explicit. It's just so
Well, there's some explicit
uncomfortable
stuff on there.
Yes. Well, not even uncomfortable that way, which there are a few scenes.
Yeah.
This is rated R, so maybe, cut out like 20 seconds. You'll be fine.
Okay. My number 4 is actually a hard R, too.
Hard R.
Hard R, but I watched this
Starring
one
Steven
play.
Seagal.
This is a 2018 movie,
Okay.
and it's Upgrade.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
We were talking about this the other day.
So Kent was like, he messaged me and he's like, hey Joel, I want to tell you one of the movies that I'm going to surprise you with. One of these movies I put on my list. It's going to be in the top 10, and he said, I'm not going to spoil it though because it's not top 5. But it's top 10. And he said it's Upgrade, and I was just like, that's my number 4.
In fact, you were like, really? Upgrade? You actually
I was
liked
like,
it that
oh,
much?
What? That's insane.
I was like, yeah, but I did, and now I feel bad.
So Upgrade.
It just shows what a sucky year it was.
No, Upgrade's legitimately good.
It is okay.
So, set in the near future, technology controls nearly all aspects of life. But when Gray, a self-identified technophobe, has his world turned upside down, his only hope for revenge is an experimental computer chip implant called STEM.
I just want to fix cars.
So this is the better version of Venom,
Isn't that weird?
where
Starring
Logan Marshall Green, who's the
Kirkland,
better
Tom
version
Hardy.
of Tom Hardy.
Yes.
Oh,
he's better than Tom
I
Hardy
just
now?
said that because
Wow.
that fit. But this movie surprised me because I didn't have any concept of what this movie was going to be. I thought it was just kind of the sci-fi thing, but then it's also kind of got some horror elements into it.
Yes.
And then it has comedy, which I did not expect. That was kind of fun. These comedic moments. I was like, oh, okay, that's actually really enjoyable.
And do you know what brings it all together?
What?
The ending.
Yes.
The
'Cause
gut punch ending.
Gut punch?
That's
Yes.
spoilers.
That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not with you on that.
No, I'm actually with him on that.
That was projected from a mile away.
No. No, it was one of those things where I kind of went, oh no, like right before it happened.
Oh, see, that's when it lost me.
Yeah.
Really?
No,
I was
see,
like,
liked
this
it.
is like an A minus, and I got to the end. I was like,
Oh, no.
B.
The game that was set up from the beginning.
That's when I realized it was a horror movie and not a sci-fi movie.
Yes.
And I went, boom, well done. So this cost $5 million. It made $16 million. So 3 times its budget.
16, that's all?
Yeah, well,
that's sad.
And that's what's sad.
No,
Is
here's the
I
thing.
don't feel like a lot of people know about this
This will
one.
be a home video success. This will be a cult classic from now on.
Yeah. But really, it was also just kind of funny because this movie, like when I was watching Venom, I'm like, this is like Upgrade, but not as good, because the whole premise of Upgrade is that he has this chip in his spine that communicates with him and helps him function because he's a quadriplegic.
Yes.
And he's able to talk to it. And so he has this back and forth with it, much like Eddie Brock and Venom do.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they communicate, I really just enjoyed when he's like, I need your permission to take over your body so I can fight this guy. And he's like, permission granted. And all of a sudden he does these fight scenes. And the cinematography during those scenes is so well done because you feel like he was acting with like his face and his body.
That's the thing.
2 separate actings going on.
Yeah, and I generally, he's not like the best actor, but when he was actually doing the stunts
That's the best part of the
and
whole
just
movie.
smiling, you're
Yeah,
like,
so fun.
Okay, that's effortless.
And like I said, it is R for violence and language. I'm pretty sure there's
when the
pretty
villains
gory.
have guns in their arms, like gun hands, and they that's a silly movie. That's
Yeah.
Grindhouse. But man, did this succeed.
And I really enjoyed it. Like
Yeah.
it caught me completely by surprise, and I think that's why I liked it.
Yeah, great choice.
Another one. This is my number 3. This is from 2018 as well.
Wow.
And this was another one where ClearPlay asked me to review it, and I was like, all right, fine. It's Game Night.
Number 3?
Game Night.
Game Night is so good.
I really like Game Night. So Game Night.
I mean, number 3 good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Jacob's like over here like bashing on him, and Ken and I are both like, nope, these
You guys are
good,
loving
Jacob.
on everything.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
It's positive time.
Okay. Positive
Jacob's
stuff.
over there watching Venom for the 3rd time, being like, guys, this is the best movie.
Hold on,
This
hold on.
is
I'm
not
watching my
a turd
Marco
in the
Polos
wind.
from Disney World.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to take a while. But no, this movie, okay. So a group of friends who meet regularly for game nights find themselves entangled in a real life mystery when the shady brother of one of them is seemingly kidnapped by dangerous gangsters. And this has Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams in the main roles. And then you get Jesse Plemons as the creepy cop neighbor.
One of the best roles of the year.
I loved his performance. Like
Yes.
that was every time he showed up on screen, I was like gleeful.
Holding the puppy.
Yes.
So good.
Because he's just this creepy next door neighbor. But this movie, and I think my review just said, when it comes to dark comedies, Game Night plays its cards right.
It's weird. In a year where Tag came out, I thought this movie would be the same kind of movie.
Well, Tag had moments of funny, but overall it was kind of like
It's based on a simple concept, and they stretch it out as much as they can.
Well, and this movie requires a lot of suspension of disbelief.
Yes.
Like near the end,
Totally.
it is one of those how on earth did they get here moments.
But I'm sorry, looking for the bullet in the arm.
Oh, they're
was
gagging.
such an amazing scene.
This wife is trying to get a bullet out of her husband's
pry
arm,
it
and they're
out.
not professionals. And then she starts gagging, which makes him start to gag.
It's so good.
My wife and I were dying. We thought
Yeah.
this was hilarious. I actually, so you remember the movie The Man Who Knew Too Little?
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of it. I thought it was fine. This is like the better version of that, where the people don't know if they're in a game or not.
I agree with that.
and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that aspect of it. And like I said, Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams make a great pair. Like they were
Yeah.
playing so well off each other as this very competitive husband and wife.
Right.
But Jesse Plemons, watch it for Jesse Plemons, and you will not be disappointed.
Jake, you haven't seen this one?
Do you know who Jesse,
I have.
do you know
I've
who
seen it.
Jesse
Okay.
Plemons is?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he nails it. He's awesome.
He's-
That awkwardness.
he's Fat Damon.
He's like glowing with awkwardness.
Yeah.
Fat Damon.
I think
Fat
they're
Matt
called-
Damon.
They call him Meth Damon or Fat Damon.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So yeah, there you go. Game Night is my number 3. Kent.
That's a great choice. My number 3, A Quiet Place.
Oh, okay.
That guy brought the room down just a little bit. A quiet place.
Let's all talk about
In a post-apocalyptic world, a family is forced to live in silence while hiding from monsters with ultra-sensitive hearing.
Isn't that Bird Box?
No, that's one where they're like, there's invisible monsters. They're basically the smoke monster from Lost because they can
spoilers.
create shadows.
Spoilers.
and
Spoilers.
Push down trees, I guess.
Yeah.
So, A Quiet Place. This one came out really early this year. What was it? February?
Something
maybe?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something.
And I was so happy that the movie started off so strong. Granted, this is one of those PG-13 thrillers that anyone could watch, but I think that's kind of the beauty as well.
I think the family
is.
could watch it because the family should watch it.
Yeah. Like I can
Yeah.
recommend this to anybody, and I'm actually happy that there's a gateway horror movie.
It is a
if you want
gateway
to call it a
movie.
horror movie.
because that's just it. It's not straightforward horror.
Yeah.
It's one I think
Yeah.
that people that even don't like horror could enjoy.
Well, it's like family survival movie.
Yeah.
That also is horror.
And that's the thing. Like John Krasinski was approached with this movie, and he said, "I don't want to do a horror movie. That's not where I'm at in my career." And they
He
said,
doesn't even like horror movies.
Yes, and they said it's actually a movie about a family trying to stay together,
And he
in
just had a kid.
Terrible circumstances. He says, "Sign me up." And then also, guess what they did? they almost made it a Cloverfield movie.
Wait, how did they come to him? And then he directed it?
Yeah.
And didn't he write it?
Yeah.
No.
Well, he did write. He wrote it. He
was
got the
screenplay.
script and rewrote it, and then he wrote with a couple other people. So he had a hand in the writing, but it wasn't just him.
Okay.
And well, because there are several writers, but the studio wanted it to be a Cloverfield movie.
Yeah, they started out that way.
Because, that's what Cloverfield does, is they take an existing movie and say, we'll add 20 minutes and some Easter eggs. But
Yeah.
thankfully, some of the producers said, no, this has to be standalone. And I'm so happy it was. Because now with the Cloverfield thing kind of taints movies that it's in, or at least the
Well, they had
movies
Cloverfield
taints the name.
had one good movie, one really good movie, and then one I hadn't seen yet.
Oh, you haven't seen Paradox?
No, because people keep saying it's terrible.
Paradox is probably honorable mentions for one of the worst of the year.
It's
It's that bad?
well, it's bad, but it's not like I wouldn't say it's one of the worst of the
It
year.
ruins my excitement for any Cloverfield movies in the future.
No, that's true. It does definitely put a wet blanket on all of that.
Yes.
Okay, so blankets are the beast.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a quiet place.
It has
Yes.
it has some moments,
Yes.
but it is not the same level at all.
And look, I mean, I know the monsters are kind of silly. This movie does ring true of old Shyamalan movies as well. But at the same time, just the suspense and, man, the emotions that actually come in this movie
Yeah,
are
there's a lot.
great.
There's a lot.
So that's my number 3.
Okay, you're number 2?
Number 2, the best action movie of the year, Mission Impossible Fallout. I know. I know you don't really love this movie.
No.
This,
No, I liked it.
I love it enough for Joel.
from start...
What does that even mean? I love it enough for Joel.
Yeah.
I can make
knows.
up. I can make up for your negativity.
I thought
He
you meant you were
knows
loving
your
it on my
heart.
behalf.
But okay, Ethan Hunt and his IMF team, along with some familiar allies, race against time after a mission gone wrong. So that's every Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah. Does it not seem like in every Mission Impossible movie they lose their funding or
Dude, it's the same
credibility?
thing every time.
It is it not?
It is.
Yes.
I binge watched them all before seeing.
Like
What was this
everyone
one
they're
called?
like, you just
I forgot.
Fallout.
Fallout. Yeah, I
You're
binged them all
disavowed
before Fallout, and I'm
again.
like, oh wow, here it is. But it doesn't change the fact that it's a fun ride.
No. And I think that
I'm-
the action sequences were amazing, but the reliance on previous Mission Impossible movies and the sloppy tie-in story, I was kind of like, I
no.
want my own thing.
I know you like that because every Mission Impossible movie has stood on its own. This one is only really directly tied. Yes, you can say his ex-wife or whatever is tied.
And the main bad guy.
No, the main bad guy's only tied to the previous movie. The one
okay.
previous movie.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
And I will say there's a lot of villains here. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of separate
There is.
stories. But the thing is, man, Tom Cruise nails it again. And somehow they one-upped, and I believe this one and the first one, I mean, they're tied for the best Mission Impossible movie.
No. But the first one's amazing. But here's the thing. Did you not feel at some point that the twist became almost comical where it was like, well, I was backstabbing you, but I was backstabbing you, but I'm a double agent, but I was backstabbing you.
Mission Impossible.
It's all in one.
yeah.
No, but that's all in like a 5-minute frame down in the basement where I was
I
like,
was into it.
What?
Yeah, I was into it. I was like, oh no, they got me because I was following it along.
I saw it coming a mile away. You didn't, Jacob?
No, you did not.
Wow. Jeez, a little bit of condescending over there. No, here's
Hey,
the thing.
just because you like date night, I don't.
The trailers...
Game night, not date night.
Whatever.
Game night.
Yeah,
not
game
Date
night.
Night's another movie,
Date
and it's
night's
not good.
a different
That
movie.
is.
But the trailers did give away a little too much, especially one major spoiler, but I was okay with it because I knew what to expect. And honestly, this movie wasn't going to like challenge me, but oh my gosh, what they pulled off on screen was phenomenal. This was art for action movies. One of probably the best action movie since Mad Max Fury Road.
Wow, that's a big statement.
One of the best modern action movies I've ever seen.
I don't get that.
I know. Sorry.
It's not like I'm hating on it because I actually liked the movie, but wow.
I'm sorry, it's no
That's
game night for
yeah,
you.
That's a big statement.
So here's the thing. We've talked about this before. So real quick fun fact. Tom Cruise broke his ankle in this movie.
Yeah, jumping
And
across the
so
buildings.
they did a hiatus. And then when they came back, Justice League was doing reshoots. So Henry Cavill
Oh, yeah.
needed to be in both movies, obviously. And so Justice League, they're like, hey, you have a really pronounced mustache in Mission Impossible. You have to shave it. But he had a clause in his contract from Paramount. They wouldn't let him out. And so actually, Warner Brothers was going to pay Paramount $3 million. Sorry if this is confusing, but they want to pay $3 million to add in a mustache to Mission Impossible
Yes.
if he shaved it for Justice
Warner
League.
Brothers says, we'll put a mustache on
Yes.
him. And then DC was like, no, you will take the mustache off him. Or you'll pay for
So
the
they
mustache
paid $25 million to remove a mustache and get the
Looked
bad
terrible.
Henry Cavill
Yeah.
face for
Like
Justice
really,
League.
Mission Impossible is the reason that Justice League looked so weird.
Was there any reason for him to have a mustache
No.
in Mission Impossible?
No, there really wasn't.
Like there really wasn't, right?
Just to have a different kind of look for Henry Cavill. But I'm sorry, the gun reloading arms and everything like that.
But haven't they heard of, fake facial hair?
I
They
know.
kind of use it in Hollywood
Look,
all the
Here's
time.
the
know,
thing.
right?
I think he brought mustaches back.
No.
They're sexy again.
But it's not just a
Is that why
mustache.
you have a mustache?
Yeah, trying.
I wasn't going to say anything, but we're
But
back
it's
for
not just a
season
mustache.
5, and
It's
it's
like scruffing a mustache.
Yeah. Perfect.
Wow.
You're owning it, though.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's weird how it curls up to your eyeballs.
That's very weird.
No, he actually braided it into his eyebrows. That's what it is.
Is that what that is? I mean, does it affect your vision at all?
A little bit. Worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Okay.
Incredible.
Okay,
They
where are we
can't
at?
beat this one.
This is my disappointing pick for Kent. He's not going to like it. Well, based on
number
the fact,
two,
based on the
right?
fact that Jacob's in Kent's palm of his hand right now, Jacob's not going to like it either.
Look, Mission Impossible. It chose A
Eighth
Quiet
Grade,
Place, chose Eighth
Alpha.
Grade, and Alpha. These are
Great
good
list
choices
so far.
These
I
are,
already
these
know
are great.
I'm glad to know nothing's changed in season 5.
Okay.
That you guys need to get a room. But no, my number 2 was actually a surprise to me because I wanted to hate this movie so bad.
Okay.
And I couldn't.
Marnie.
No, I still hate that movie. It's actually Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Oh, came out last year.
It came out December of
before,
last
yes.
year, just like barely. And so I didn't see it until 2018. And I remember when they first announced they were going to do a Jumanji reboot. I was
hated
like,
we hated
no,
the idea,
that's
yeah.
terrible. I wanted to bomb. And I heard it was a sequel. I'm like, still not good. But I was thoroughly entertained by this movie so much that it's one of the only ones on this list that I've watched multiple times this year.
Joel, I have to say, my experience was identical to that.
Mine too.
Yeah, now you say that. Now he's trying to suck up again.
So here's the thing, though. You have several small children. I
do.
wanted to watch this with the kids, but there's some jokes that maybe would go over their head.
Clear Play got rid of him.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there was a couple parts too where I was like, oh, that's hilarious. I don't want my kids to see that.
Right.
But okay, I should give a synopsis. 4 teenagers are sucked into a magical video game, and the only way they can escape is to work together to finish their game. And this stars Dwayne Johnson, Jack Black, Kevin Hart, Karen Gillan, and Nick Jonas. And so, just to get the millennials out there, I'm
Right.
appealing to you with the Jonas Brothers.
That's millennial. This one.
No, but this okay. So this had a budget of 150 million, which is a big budget. Like
That's
they put a lot of
huge.
it.
Yeah.
It made 962 million.
Are you kidding me?
Seriously?
This went big, almost $1 billion to this movie, and that's
Unbelievable.
surprising.
I did not
was
know
amazed.
it was that much.
It was really kind of entertaining to watch.
I mean, it's a fun movie. It probably had a lot of repeats,
Yeah.
and I knew they were getting a sequel. But
Yeah, they're
$1 billion
they're talking about it. But I mean, I just love I love the game references with like the NPCs, non-player
characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that how he just kept repeating the same thing. I like the names Dr. Smolder Bravestone and Ruby Roundhouse. Like it was the throwback
And-
to those games
And the fact that it didn't do a disservice to the original.
that they gave a
They
little
continue
homage.
on.
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's just it. Is I think the reason this movie succeeded is because it wasn't a reboot. It wasn't trying to remake what had been done before, and it wasn't trying to redo. It modified it, and then they gave homage to the original, including a shout out to Robin Williams.
Yeah,
and
incredibly
it was like,
clever.
all right, that was
Yeah.
great. But honestly, like seeing Dwayne Johnson play insecure against character, seeing Karen Gillan play this kind of insecure character against, and then seeing Jack Black playing a snobby girl.
Here's the thing: the roles are they're one note.
Yeah.
There's one joke to each,
is.
but for some reason the joke keeps repeating, and it's good
just
every
keeps
time.
working.
Because I think it's because
Yes.
they're taking turns. Like I think it's
Okay.
it's the characters all together. It's the body swap aspect of it that makes it
Right.
entertaining. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's
and
fun.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to the sequel. To
Shouldn't
see
have
if
worked,
they can
but
do
it
it
did.
again. Yeah, but that's what I want to see. I want to see if they can capture lightning in a bottle once again. So we'll see. But yeah, honestly, Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. You surprised me, and you're my second best movie I watched last year.
Thank you, Joel.
Kent, you did number 2 already?
Yes, I did. So
So it's
Joel-
time
honorable
for
mentions.
honorable mentions.
Indeed.
I'll go first this time.
Yeah.
Once again, I have the laundry list, but we'll just go through them real quick. Honorable mention for this last year movies I really liked. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri got an honorable mention.
Great movie.
There Will Be Blood. I saw it for the first time.
The first.
You only just saw that?
I know, and I finally saw it.
Are you okay? Are you a little dead inside now?
Okay, so the thing is,
Oh.
it's a hard movie to watch, but Daniel Day-Lewis, you cannot take your eyes off him
can't.
that whole movie.
Right.
So that was surprising.
I felt sick for like a month.
That's a solid one-time watch.
Yes. I would
Yes.
never revisit that.
No.
It's hard. Avengers: Infinity War. I put that on my honorable mentions along with Ready Player One, and then I also have a couple of Kent favorites of Lady Bird and I, Tonya.
I, Tanya, maybe.
Did you like Lady Bird?
It's okay.
Oh, I really did like that one.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm hoping 8th grade is kind of like Lady Bird because I obviously was not a young woman growing up, but I still related to the character of Lady Bird, and I hope I can relate to the character in 8th grade.
A lot more than you will Lady Bird, that's for sure.
Yeah. The Treasure of the Sierra Madre and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Those were 2 old westerns that I watched and really impressed me
You
this
sound
year.
like Jake
Did
right
you
now.
just, yeah, I mean, when did those happen? Why?
Treasure of the Sierra Madre was 1948. Man Who Shot Liberty Valance 1962.
No, I mean, but like, what made you think I need to go watch Treasure of Sierra Madre?
I have like this whole list of movies that I've been wanting to watch, just kind of in my Netflix DVD queue because I still get those, and they pop up, and I'm like, okay, now I'm watching this one.
Okay.
Greatest Showman, I actually did put on there because it made such an impact on my family.
Joel, it's been a year.
I
We don't
know.
need to talk about how much we like it. People are done with that. Now they like Bohemian Rhapsody.
Do they?
Yeah, the same people who like Greatest Showman.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I confess, the Hitchcock movie. Really
You're talking about your
impressed me.
future Best Picture winner there, Kent.
Yes,
so
exactly.
tread lightly.
Oh, it's probably true. Train to Busan, a Korean
So much
horror
fun.
film.
Yeah.
PG-13 zombie movie. If you're looking for a good PG-13 zombie movie, Train to Busan is great. It, Paddington 2, and Searching.
That is a lot of movies.
Yeah. There's a handful of good ones here.
Searching. Remind me what that is.
That's the father searching for his daughter. We did a review on it on Patreon. It's all through social media
online.
and cameras.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little unbelievable by the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a fun ride, though.
It was an interesting take on that genre.
Okay, my honorable mentions. Paddington 2.
You put that on yours too?
Totally.
We matched again.
I love this movie.
I love
Get a
this.
room, you two.
Love this.
No, if you haven't watched either of the Paddingtons, go watch them. They're so much fun.
I actually watched this movie as a challenge because I'm like, there's no way this movie could be that good.
100%
If anyone
on
can
Rotten
hate this
Tomatoes.
movie, it's me.
That's the truth.
100% of Rotten Tomatoes.
And it charmed me. It totally charmed
You're touching
me.
let the record show he's touching his heart right now.
Yeah.
By the way, Paddington 1 only has a 98%. And I wanted to say to the 3 critics who gave it a rotten review,
Death threats?
you
What's
have
going
no
on?
heart.
Okay. Other honorable mentions. Game Night.
Hey!
Upgrade.
Yep.
Death of Stalin
That was the Netflix one that you really liked.
is on Netflix.
I thought it was. Or
Hopefully,
Amazon Prime?
everyone should watch this. It might be on Amazon Prime. It's a Sundance movie. Has Jeffrey Tambor, Steve Buscemi, and it's literally about Khrushchev and Stalin, but it's a comedy. And none of these people are trying to do Russian accents. And it's like a Monty Python Russian movie, and it's so funny. American Animals. This is where I get a little bit hipster.
Yeah.
Another Sundance movie I saw. It's about a heist movie where they try to steal a college textbook that's worth $2 million.
Oh, yeah. That's based on a true story, right?
Yeah, it is a true story.
Yeah.
It has interviews with the real people spliced in with the fictional side, or the narrative side of it, I should say.
Interesting.
Yeah, everyone should watch that. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Need to see that one.
You need
Yes, you do.
to see this movie.
I'm surprised that's not in your top 5.
It almost cracked my top 5. Here's the thing. I loved it. I was amazed by
Yeah,
it.
that didn't make your top 5?
But
That was the Utah Film Critics Association #1 pick for Best Picture.
Picture. And that's the thing.
That's
It
pretty
is
silly,
a
though.
great movie. In the end, it says nothing. It says everyone can be a hero, which that's what every
I feel so
superhero movie
inspired
does.
right now.
Me too.
Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers documentary.
That was
Yes, I will.
That was a heartwarming
Yes.
one.
Yeah, loved it. So,
Still haven't
Joel,
watched
do you want to go number 1 first? Then I'll go number 1.
I'll go #1 first.
'Kay.
Because my #1 has actually been brought up already. It is A Quiet Place.
Okay.
My
there you go.
#1 movie was A Quiet Place.
It's a perfect
because-
Joel choice right here.
Well, because to me, it was like, I mean, I love horror movies and I love seeing different ways of doing it. And this was just such a unique experience because it was, I mean, and I do feel bad I didn't get to see some theaters because I hear in theaters, you could hear a pin drop.
Except when people were annoying and opening candy.
That's true. That's
Yes.
true. And that would be bad for it. But this movie, I think it's just because it has such a strong emotional core because it does, as a father, it prays into my fear of just trying to take care of my children and protect my children
At all costs.
but to an extreme
Yes.
level. And I thought the whole use of sound was so well done, the way they did this movie. Very minimal talking, very minimal offensive content. Like, honestly, it's PG-13 because it's intense. That's
Yes.
about it. And I thought the creatures were creative enough. I thought the ending was... I'm trying to think of how to not spoil this.
Schlocky in the right way.
No, but it resolved enough
Yes.
where I was pleased, and I could see how they do a sequel. I'm not really excited for them to do a sequel.
Yeah.
I hope it's just I want it to be a standalone movie. But like with Bird Box, for example, people compare those two a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like the ending
You
of
shouldn't.
Bird Box was not as satisfying as the ending of A Quiet Place.
Not even close.
But I was so tense during this movie that I got to the end, and my muscles felt tense because I was so worked
I'm
up.
sorry. When the movie starts off the way it does,
Oh yeah,
and you see the look of fear in their eyes as they're
Yes.
running. Incredible.
Like, even if you're not a fan of horror, I recommend watching this movie because it's a unique film watching experience and
Yes.
a well-told story that really can affect you if you let it.
Totally.
So my #1's A Quiet Place.
Okay, so your number 1's a horror film from this year.
Yeah, budget,
job, Joel.
Thank you. Budget of $21 million, and it made $340 million.
Holy cow.
So
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is.
Of course they're making a sequel. That's too bad, though.
yeah, I don't really care for that.
Well, the
So-
sequel will probably be a different family or something like that.
Yeah.
Like same universe, but
if they're smart,
Yeah.
but they probably won't be, and they'll probably keep those who survived and continue their story.
I don't know if Emily Blunt will go on to
Yeah.
do a movie like
Does
this.
she survive?
I don't know.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, does she?
I don't know.
She plays other characters when they return.
She actually comes back as Mary Poppins. in the
Yes,
sequel.
exactly.
All right.
So you chose a horror movie?
Jacob, are we going to guess his #1 of 2018? Can we guess his number one in 2018?
I was just thinking.
Joel can, but Jake, I don't believe you can.
I can?
Is it a
Yes.
horror movie?
I'm not saying that either.
Oh, I know what it is. It's Avengers Infinity War.
It's Black Panther.
Black Panther.
not Black
I got the screener and it said revolutionary on the.
You shut
This is such an important movie
doesn't even come up.
for our time.
Is it Ready Player One?
It is not Ready Player One.
No.
Did he mention that one already?
That was my number one most
All
anticipated.
right, give us a hint.
I feel like
Ken.
it's going to be hipstery.
He said I could guess it.
You could guess
Have
it.
I seen it?
No.
Have I seen it?
Joel, your wife won't let you see this movie.
Oh, I know what it is.
It's Hereditary.
It's Hereditary.
It is a horror movie.
My wife won't
Dude,
let me
that's where
see
I was
that.
guessing. If you just said yes to horror.
My wife said she didn't want me bringing that into the house.
It's honestly
I can
like
watch
a
it at your
haunted-
place.
It's a haunted artifact. I got the screener for this movie and I said,
Hereditary.
I don't want this in my home. I don't want it here.
So Hereditary. Give the synopsis, Kent.
After the family matriarch passes away, a grieving family is haunted by tragic and disturbing occurrences and begin to unravel dark secrets. That's not even the tip of the iceberg right there.
that. So here's the thing. Kent's been trying to get me to watch this movie for a while.
A year.
But I haven't. It's not on VidAngel. It wasn't on ClearPlay. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it. And then I ended up. I confessed to Kent just last week that I spoiled the movie. I read the synopsis. I watched clips.
Oh.
But that's the thing.
He wouldn't have been exposed to this movie for years.
Yeah.
Or maybe would have had to come to my house to watch a ClearPlay version.
But I
of
kept
this movie.
seeing it pop up, and so I was like, I need to know about this movie. So I read it, and let me tell you, Jacob, reading this. Have you seen it?
No.
Reading the synopsis alone.
No, I decided to avoid it. It seems too dark.
Well, that's the thing. I'm sitting there in an auto shop getting my car fixed, reading a synopsis on my phone, and I gasped out loud. I went, "Oh!" because I was reading the synopsis.
So good.
It was shocking, shocking movie.
Oh, I love this movie. I saw it at Sundance, so yes, it's one of my.
You were just saying
hipster
2
choices.
seconds ago that There Will Be Blood is a one and done, and yet you're
Yes.
saying you want to
No,
watch
no.
Hereditary
This-
again and again.
This movie is a one and done as well, but I saw it a second time, and I regretted seeing this movie again because the feeling, the dark spirit that latches onto you after watching this movie is like nothing else. I have to go home and watch Won't You Be My Neighbor right after this movie.
You should.
Because what it does is a slow burn where almost nothing happens except for something right in the middle, which is really, really horrible. And then the last 5 minutes are absolutely insane. And a lot of people are actually dissatisfied with the ending because it does go a little bit.
It's on the nose.
It's on the nose. It does actually explain too much in the end.
Yeah.
But you deserve it because
Kind of.
you sat through a family dealing with tragedy and being haunted, not even by supernatural stuff, in the worst way possible.
Well,
and it's grimy.
I really want this movie spoiled right now. But
well, and just
not do it.
like on the clips I show, because I went and just looked up random clips on YouTube, and just the clips alone, Toni Collette, you couldn't take your eyes off her. She was like, her performances were so
you always say that
gut-wrenching.
about Toni Collette.
Yeah, that's true.
In this movie, horror films other than Get Out don't get a lot of love from the Academy. If she doesn't get at least nominated,
She didn't get anything for Golden Globes.
she didn't. But that show's a farce. If she doesn't win the Best Actress for this role, it will be really, really unfortunate because she's amazing.
She's playing this unstable. Like, she's just trying to keep it together, but she keeps letting these little cracks of insanity come out. And when they do, it's scary. It's scary to see.
Yeah. So I say in my review, if you've ever considered yourself a horror fan in any way, you owe it to yourself to see this movie, Joel.
Both picked horror films for our number one.
It may
That's
be
funny.
overhyped by the time you actually see it, but you won't be able to ignore just how effective it is. So I will say this. I wanted to like movies more than this one. I saw this in January and I said, that was great, but I want to like movies more than this. Sadly, nothing else came out that passed this movie. In fact, this is the movie that I've thought about more and more, sadly.
Because the dark spirit has
it's
attached to
haunted
you,
me.
Ken.
Yeah, that's
totally.
why. That's for
and
sure
the
why.
experience of watching the gloom and dread I felt while watching this movie that builds, it's a pure escapism. And like I said, it's dark.
Kent, come here.
Yeah, here I am.
Demons out!
Literally, he took the demons out. Messed up my hair a little bit though.
It's okay. It looks good.
But I other than Mission Impossible, which totally took me in with the action, this one made me feel. And that's what I want a movie experience to make me do.
It made you feel dark.
But that's the thing. I cared about every character, and I was like, no.
Also
That's-
filmed in Utah.
Yeah, filmed in Utah. The director actually said he liked Utah because its mountains are beautiful and breathtaking, but also menacing and ominous.
Yep, Baconsale.
Yeah. So, look, this movie is for a select crowd. But if you've seen it, or if you're going to see it, you won't forget it. Number one.
Wow.
All right.
That's the funny thing is when I was talking to you about this last week, I did not think that this would be your number one pick.
Yeah. I don't want to play my hands.
I know, but I was actually surprised by it. So.
Yes. All right, Jake, do you have any favorites, least favorites?
Any ones that we mentioned or didn't, or that we didn't mention?
Or it's just my list other than Hereditary is the best list ever?
Pretty much.
Yes. Thank you.
Baconsale.
Actually, you know what? I do think Infinity War deserves a nod because that is obviously it gets plenty of love, but pulling that movie off is pretty amazing.
All the moving parts. I agree. That's why it made my list, actually, is because all the moving parts, putting them together in a way. And I did make my top 10.
It's a great TV season finale cliffhanger. That's exactly what it is.
TV series.
Don't you think? Yeah. Don't you think it is a cliffhanger episode?
It is a cliffhanger.
There's definitely more to it. But yeah, that's why if you look at the former 786.blogspot.com, you'll see my full top 10 of movies for this year, which you've heard them in honorable mentions, but you actually see them in order.
Yeah, totally.
And Kent, you'll see yours at
Showtime.com.
So there we go. Guys, episode 1 of season 5 is now in the pipe. And we thank you for listening. Let us know what your favorite or least favorite movies were of the year on our Facebook, Twitter, or our Instagram pages. We're there. We're talking to you, even though no one else, none of the young kids are on Facebook, apparently.
No, they're not. We'll be on Instagram, too. It's fine.
Yeah. But if you want to find me, you can find me at 76Joel on Twitter. Or you can find me performing with Quick Wits. They perform every Saturday night at the Midvale Performing Arts Center. For more details, go to qwcomedy.com or go to the Quick Wits Facebook page.
If you want to find me on Twitter or Instagram, it's at Kenny3DD. If you want to read my movie reviews, at showtimeshowdown.com.
You can find me on Twitter at Jacob A. Rogers, but make sure you go check out Baconsale on Twitter as well as on Instagram at Baconsale. Check out our Patreon page and go lend us a hand there and get some extra content. It's a lot of fun. Also, we have tpublic.com/Baconsale if you want to get some Baconsale merchandise.
Yep. So until next time, demons out!
Beautiful and breathtaking, but also menacing and ominous.
Yep, Baconsale.
We love you.
We're here to protect you.
This is the circle of trust.
Yeah. If this is the circle of trust, I'm screwed. I'm getting back to my roots. I'm going to disappoint Kent so many times.
Why?
Because that's me.
Maybe it's your mouth.
But the score was done by Pitbull, so that's good. Very nice, very funny.
There's a monkey in our movie, so it's funny.
He's kissing his dog. So,
is there tongue?
What'd you have for lunch? I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It was trying to be so woke, but it put me to sleep.
Hard R.
I just want to fix cars. I love it enough for Joel.
What does that even mean?
I think he brought mustaches back.
I'm appealing to you with the Jonas Brothers.
And it charmed me.
Let the record show he's touching his heart right now.
Yeah. Joel, your wife won't let you see this movie. The dark spirit that latches onto you after watching this movie is like nothing else.
Yeah, you're no Pete Davidson.